Joining us now, BJP leader Dr. Chandan Mitra, also with us, the Congress spokesperson and MP Abhishek Manu Singhvi. First to you, Dr. Mitra, let's focus on Kandahar. It's 10 years now, but the ghost returns to haunt the BJP time and again. Is it time now for the BJP to accept perhaps that L K Advani made a mistake on the eve of the election campaign when he suggested that he had no idea of what had happened in terms of Jaswant Singh accompanying terrorists to Kandahar? That's perhaps something which the BJP perhaps needs once and for all to clarify now.
Look, I think Mr. Advani clarified it. And in any case, this was the least consequential of issues with regard to Kandahar. The issue that really gripped the entire country was the question of 160 people being held captive inside a plane for 7 days. The issue was that one of the captives had been
killed. Did the Home Minister mislead the country? Did the Home Minister, Dr. Mitra, mislead the country?
The Home Minister,
did he try to pass the blame on to someone else because he wanted to emerge as the low Purush ahead of the 2009 elections?
Rajdeep, if I can draw your attention to his book, pages 621 to 624, he pays fulsome tribute to Mr. Jaswant Singh for the manner in which he conducted himself during this crisis. And yes, in a television interview, he did say that he did not quite recall when the decision to send Jaswant Singh to Kandahar was taken, or whether he was present in the room when the decision was taken.
Mr. Mishra, it was an important decision. The Union Minister was travelling with terrorists and doing that exchange.
You have to...
Go ahead.
You have to see the whole thing in perspective. How does it matter if Mr. Jaswant Singh went or X went or Z went? Mr. Jaswant Singh volunteered to go after the negotiators in Kandahar said that somebody senior should accompany them.
Okay,
Mr. Jaswant Singh wanted to go. So he went. What is the issue there?
Okay, you're saying it's no big deal.
Let me ask. See why this has become a no big deal at all.
Okay, let me get Mr. Singhvi. Do you believe it's no big deal? Anyone could have gone, and Mr. L K Advani at one point in time seemed to suggest that he wasn't quite aware whether Jaswant Singh was going. He has tried to clarify his position, perhaps not too clearly. Do you believe it's a big deal?
It's a very big deal. It's a defining watershed moment. Two things I think is completely being missed out. First, the whole issue is about the BJP's lack of straightforwardness with the nation and Mr. Advani's deception and dishonesty. Now the point here is really that Kandahar and the image of the foreign minister escorting terrorists outside was a psychological watershed in India. That is one part of the event. Mr. Advani is projected as a prime ministerial face of the BJP. In that process, he tries deliberately to disown and distance himself from his own cabinet, his own party, and there's a deliberate attempt to say, I was not aware. That was an inherently improbable argument as stated. Thereafter, expose after expose, contradiction after contradiction,
Chandan,
from the stage of Fernandez, from just one minute, just one second, give me 2 minutes. From the stage of Fernandez, Jaswant Singh, Brajesh Mishra, this is prevarication with the nation. In another great democracy, Mr. Bill Clinton was punished not so much for what he did, but for prevaricating with the nation. This is dishonesty and deception, which can only partially be cured by an apology unconditional to the nation.
You want an unconditional apology? Chandan Mishra, respond.
I need to respond.
Yes.
Number one, the Congress does not have a moral space to actually put out all these holier-than-thou propositions that Mr. Singhvi is making. First, they sent people to outside 7 Racecourse Road with banners saying release Azhar Masood, and it was later proved that they were not relatives of the people who were on the plane, but Congress activists. Number one, they did that to embarrass the government of the day, and this became a major issue. Number two, Mr. Singhvi is saying that this is deception. What deception? Mr. Advani has said again and again, very reluctantly, the government, including himself, agreed to the release of the 3 terrorists. So where is the deception? Where is this, misleading? What are they talking about? I just fail to understand. Was they not present at the all-party meeting which authorized the government
where is the deception?
I'll tell you where the deception is.
Yes.
I'll tell you where the deception is.
Yes.
This is rank dishonesty. You tell the country 3 times that as Home Minister of India, later to become Deputy Prime Minister of India, I was not aware of a decision which Kandahar afflicted India. the Cabinet Committee on Security meets apparently without the Home Minister.
He never said that.
What kind of government was the NDA running?
Sorry.
What kind of government was the NDA running? And Mr. Advani, if he is contradicted by the then Defence Minister Fernandez, by the Foreign Policy, Security Advisor Brajesh Patel, and by Mr. Jaswant Singh, the Foreign Minister, well, I think it's the internal headaches of the BJP. They should sort out themselves in Mr. Balapte's and Mr. Chandan Mitra's committee. But this is not an internal headache of the BJP.
So
it is a headache for the country because Kandahar is a national issue.
And
it's
10
a
years
BJP
later,
issue.
Congress has no face to talk about it.
You know, Mr. Mitra,
Congress has no face.
Mr. Mitra, the center of this all is that perhaps all of us need more clarity from the BJP as to what really happened in that CCS. You did decide for this terrorist swap in exchange for all the passengers. Jaswant Singh has come out very, very clearly that he had said he would go. L K Advani has come out very clearly in an interview that saying he did not know. I think the least the country expects is
No, he did
clarity.
not recall. I'm sorry, let me correct you.
Just the clarity.
He says he does not recall.
Okay.
Why? He did not say he did not know.
Was it not an
recall.
attempt, Chandan Mitra, the feeling is, was it not an attempt because he was a prime ministerial candidate
Distancing.
to position himself as a
Yes.
Mazboot
Not
Neta
at
and
all.
therefore
Not at all.
suggest
I mean,
that he would not resort to
as I'm
a
saying,
measure? Wasn't
as I'm
that a
saying,
deliberate
how is it
political
of
strategy?
consequence?